Good morning. Welcome to the monthly Connect.
All right.
We're down in Irvine, and we filled it up. It's nice to see Irvine filled up. And for all the people that drove quite a ways to come here, I really appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. We've had a really good October, man. We had a really good October. I was really proud of October. Yeah. It was a good month. Matt's going to go over some. No, we had some people that killed it in October. I mean, just actually knocked it out of the park. Probably our biggest month in commissions I've ever seen for our company in history. So it was a big month. Also, going into that, we have a lot of new things happening across our company. We have some new places we're going to talk about. Keith's going to handle that. What's kind of going on that? But goals. You know, we're getting towards the end of the year. And we have goals, and we are working really hard. Me, Robert, and Matt are hitting offices twice a week, and we're doing one-on-ones. They've been great at every office that we've done so far. We've enjoyed it thoroughly, actually. And we've looked at going from office to office. So if you got an email and you've blocked us on email, shame on you, first of all. But if you want to get set up for the office that we're coming to, and I think we're going to be in Claremont on Monday, in Oceanside. Tuesday we're going to be in Corona, and then the following week at Diamond Bar, then Hemet, then Hacienda Heights, and Long Beach, and Menifee, Marietta 2 days, and then Temecula. So look at the sheet. You're looking at it right now. If you're with us right now, take a picture of that, mark it down, and get on that thing. It's going to help us going into next year, because just like, you know, as being a Mike Ferry organization, I have to give my projections just like you guys do. And, you know, we actually have to give our projections to Mike, and we have to give them to Century 21 of where we're at. And we are leaders in the C21 family, so they're looking at us to have them right. You know what I mean? So the way we get them right is by you getting yours right. And Neil and Robert have always done a run to the finish line, and this year we need to run to the finish line. This is the year, because we need, what we're setting up right now is going to be what we're going to get in January and February. Mm-hmm. And you know, what we set up last month is what we're going to get for Christmas, and if your kid's going to get the G.I. Joe with a Kung Fu grip or not, right? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because those things are expensive now. I actually looked a little, what was it? Ninja Turtles are still around. I can't believe it, but I was at the store the other day, and I got a grandson. I was looking at the Ninja Turtle, and we were with him, and he's looking at the Ninja Turtle. It was like $120 for a freaking Ninja Turtle doll thing, but it shoots stuff out. But, you know, it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool. But anyways, yeah, I wanted it for myself. There's a lot of cool stuff we didn't have that when we were kids. Everything's remote control now, you know what I mean? And it's actually cheap. But anyway, so let's look at running towards the finish line, and that's what we're doing. But most of all, let's get our goals together for next year. Next year, it's really important to have goals. Without goals, you have nothing to reach for. You know, and if you're gonna come into us, and we've had it come in where people have come in and talked to us, where they go, well, I did 6 this year, next year I want to do 40. Guys, that's not feasible. You know, how are you going to? What are we going to change to get you? We can't change you that quick. We need to work on what we're going to do, and we have to have a plan to do 40. So when we come in, we're going to put that plan together for you to do more deals. You know what I mean? That's what we do. So at that, I'm going to turn it over to Keith. I think you got next.
Yep. All right. For those of you who are assigned to Irvine, I know that you guys are actually doing goals today, right?
Right, yep.
You guys are actually having some goal conversations today. How's everybody doing? So I have a few updates for you guys just from a company standpoint. We've had a little bit of movement with some of our offices. As you guys know, we acquired Century 21 United Brokers and what was the other name?
Now and right?
No. What was the other name for United Brokers?
Excellent.
No, not
It
excellent.
was United Brokers and First Choice.
First choice.
So we acquired United Brokers. They were down in San Diego area. They had an Ocean Beach office, and they had a office in San Diego, which was in the community of Claremont. And I've been told to not call it Claremont because that's a community, not a city, and they want to be referred to as San Diego, which makes me happy. I'm totally fine doing it. So that's our San Diego office, which sounds cool, so that makes a lot more sense. That San Diego office, I'm not going to lie, it was in a little bit of rough shape. It hadn't been touched in quite some time. And so my brother, my dad, the team, we've actually been doing a renovation down there, and it looks really, really good. We just finished it. So if you're ever in San Diego, down in that area.
There it is
You
on
can
the-
stop by our office. There's some video footage of the new office. We, basically stripped the floors, repainted the entire thing, moved some walls. It took about how long?
We did it. We were able to accomplish it about 3 weeks.
In about-
which was our fastest.
In about 3 weeks, so work some magic, and we're already moving everybody back in. So if you're in San Diego, please take a look at that office. The other update that we have is, you guys, one of the things that we constantly are talking to you guys about is participating, right? And guys, this represents participation. Like, we're in Irvine. This is one of our furthest offices, kind of a little difficult to get to when you look at the rest of our footprint. And you guys showed up, and I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah.
So thank you for participating, first of all. Second of all, we're starting to look at our company and look at where we have offices, and we're really starting to be intentional with where we have offices, okay, and what's the best situation for those offices. So recently we evaluated our footprint. We looked in Southwest Riverside and we said, okay, we have an office in Murrieta, we have an office in Temecula, which is right over the freeway, and we needed that one because Temecula is a great city, and we were just running out of space in Murrieta. We have an office in Canyon Lake, and we have an office in Hemet, and we have an office in Menifee. And what we realized is that in Menifee, we were really not getting a lot of participation. We had a few large teams that were based out of there, but really there wasn't a lot of use. And so we're actually closing that location. We're going to call it consolidating. It's called a smart business decision, okay? If someone's not using an office and we're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to keep it open, it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep it open, right?
Right.
So over the next couple of months, we are going to be looking at some of our other offices. We've already talked about this with you guys. I know Hacienda Heights is one of our more recent acquisitions. We have Diamond Bar, which some of you guys, I'm trying to see if I have anybody from Diamond Bar. Raise your hand if you're from Diamond Bar. All right. City's in the house. City's in the house. So we're going to be taking some of those offices and we're going to be consolidating. We actually just signed a lease for Walnut, Neil's old office. It was so funny, we were looking on CoStar or LoopNet, and we're looking for commercial spaces in that area, something a little larger that we can consolidate some of those offices. And we start clicking on one of these spaces, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. This is an amazing office. And I looked closer, and on the door, the decal said Century 21 Masters. And I was like, it's a sign. It hadn't been leased in 2 years, and so we've been negotiating with the tenant or the landlord, and we'll be moving back into that office in January. So really excited for that. It's in Walnut. It's technically City of Industry, but I think they go by Walnut. Kind of like a Claremont, San Diego thing. Outside of that, guys, I just want to. We're going to keep it kind of light this go around. We have some really good updates in addition to this, but one of the things I just want to let you guys know. I'm going to kind of echo what my dad said on the business plan side of things. Like, having goals is great, right? How many of you guys had goals in 2023? Like, really, how many of you guys actually built out goals? Okay, for those of you who didn't raise your hand, are you really, really satisfied with your production?
Of course not.
Okay, so you have to have goals. You have to have something to aim for. If you don't have something to aim for, it's going to be really hard to achieve or even measure whether or not you did well, right? If you don't have a goal, how can you even tell yourself, I did really good or I didn't do good, right? There's no proxy. There's nothing to really measure against. So you have to have goals. But if you don't have a plan, like my dad said, then you're surely not going to have good chances of achieving your goals. You might get lucky, and there's a lot of lucky people in here. We're all blessed, but quite frankly, if you don't have a plan, the likelihood of you achieving your goals is really gonna diminish. Guys, we're building a plan. Like, right now, I have like a 26-page PowerPoint presentation
Yes,
that we have to present to Century 21 because. And it's not for them. It's more for it's all for us. It's not for them at all. We show them because they hold us accountable to things. But at the end of the day, we build out a plan because that's what you do when you own a business. And how many of you guys own businesses?
Everybody.
All of you should raise your hand. So if you own a business, you have to have a plan. So please, please, please don't miss out on the opportunity to meet with my brother, with my dad, with Robert, and talk about what that plan needs to be to make 2024 the best year ever. Okay? Deal?
111 people that did more this year than they did last year.
Yeah, this year, you're saying just in general. Like when
In
you look
general,
at
we had
production.
111 people do more business this year than they did last year.
Yeah, we had a lot of people that outperformed year over year numbers, and year over year is great. But guys, quite frankly, year over year doesn't mean a lot when you look at the last 3 years, because quite frankly, 2020 was crazy. 2021 was nuts, right? If you didn't make the most money in your life in 2021, I'm sorry. 2022 was bipolar, right? We know that. And 2023 has been a transition, and we're working through it. So what is 2024 going to be? Like, the reality is comparing year over year, your goals, yes, they should take into consideration year over year, absolutely. You should look at what you did last year, and that should have kind of weighed into your goals this year. But the reality is when you look at 2024, I told, at my last company, I used to tell people, when you come up with your goal, it can be really aggressive. Like, it can be really aggressive. I know we don't want people that just throw a number out and say, 44, I want to do 40 transactions when you did 3 this year. Like, that doesn't make a ton of sense. Unless you tell us exactly what you're going to do to get to 40. If your plan is bulletproof and you're like, look, I'm prospecting for this many hours a day. I have a new coach. I'm showing up. I'm participating. I'm using the CRM. You've changed everything in your business. Sure, you can have a lofty goal of 40, but that plan better be watertight. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So your goal, whatever you come up with, can be as lofty as you want, but that plan really be meticulous on how many hours per day are you going to prospect realistically. And be real with it. And then find someone to hold you accountable to it. If you actually want to achieve it, if you want to be serious about it, have Matt or Robert or one of our coaches or Neil or me or my dad. Heck, you can call Kelly. Find someone to hold you accountable, and I promise you will be able to achieve it. I've seen people do unbelievable things when they actually were disciplined. The problem with it is most of us aren't disciplined as disciplined as we need to be. And we all know it. We all look in the mirror every day. We know that sometimes we're not as disciplined as we need to be. But if you are disciplined, you'll be able to achieve things you never thought you could.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Kelly's not happy.
I am the head of our escrow here at 21st Century. Escrow.
Not the body, the head.
Not the body, the head, yes. You've just heard Randy and Keith talking a lot about goals, and that doesn't stop just with real estate, because escrow is also working on goals. And while each of our escrow units has individual goals that they're working on, overall, our major goal is to provide the best escrow service that we can to all of you, so you guys can hand those contracts over to us and then not worry about it and move on. And know that your escrows are being handled by the most capable team that there is without any worry. So part of us doing that is we have assigned an escrow officer to each of the offices. This will allow us to reach out to you guys without you guys being bombarded by multiple escrow officers or our assistants that you just don't have time to talk to us all the time, and that's fine. We understand that. You guys are busy. You shouldn't have time to talk to us. So our Arcadia office, Chino Hills, and Hacienda Heights is going to be serviced by Liz, and her information is on the slide up there or on our website, or you can reach out to me as well. Canyon Lake, Hemet, and any of the agents that were previously in Menifee will be serviced by Melody and her team. San Diego, Oceanside, and Temecula will be serviced by Tony, and she is in our Murrieta office. Tony is also part of our Diamond Valley Escrow division, which means that she's independent, which I all will be soon. So if you have any transactions that you know of that you can't handle as an agent, we can still service those in-house and keep that, so you know that that business is being taken care of as well. Corona, Irvine, and Long Beach will be serviced by Monique, and Monique is here. So if you're from any of those offices and you are here today, please feel free to stop and chat with Monique. Get her cards, you have her contact information. Covina, Diamond Bar, Glendora, and Pasadena will be serviced by Viri and her team. And then Murrieta will be by myself and my amazing team.
Yeah.
Now, if you already work with one of our agent or escrow officers and they're in a different office than your office is assigned to, that's okay. That's not going to change. We don't want to fix it if it's not broken. You can still work with whoever you've been working with, and if that's working great for you, perfect. If you think maybe you need a little bit of change, let me know, because we can always work with that too. We want you guys to work with the team that is best suited to your personality and your needs. Another thing we are doing is we are starting a new campaign because we want you to write us in. And it's the Write Us In campaign. Yes, nice and easy to remember. So if you are representing a buyer and you write us in on that offer, that escrow is then opened with one of our offices. It doesn't matter which one of our offices. Then we will give the buyer and the seller 50% off of their escrow fee. So hopefully that entices the other side to accept your offer with us written in as escrow, and then you know that that's one less thing you have to worry about because you know that your escrow is being taken care of by us and you're not going to have to worry about that. Yes, it also is obviously savings to your client, and then hopefully that entices the listing side to see that you're able to, offer a discount on that side as well. So, if you have any questions, if you ever need anything, please feel free to reach out to any one of our escrow officers. If there's ever a concern, you can always call me, email me.
Can we write that in the offer?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And write that it's 50%.
Yep.
It's legal, everything.
It's like right underneath, there's like a spot for it.
Additional.
We can go over, but yeah, you can write right
Bringing
in.
up the fact that we are independent and that we were trying to get those other agents to use our independent too.
Yes, by hopefully as of the first of the year, we're all going to be independent. All of our offices will be independent. So we're hoping that by doing this, we'll be able to gain the business of the other side as well.
Which we've already started.
Which we've already started
Yeah.
with. Tony is an independent division of our company right now.
Ian's got a question.
Is it 50% total or 25% each side?
50 each. 50 for the buyer, 50 for the seller.
Wow.
Yeah.
Should help.
Wow,
So
that
you're
ought to do it. 25 Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And I don't want to stumble your things here, but as escrow isn't necessarily, well, can it be written into the contract because it's a separate service, it's an ancillary service? Can that be written into the contract?
Yes. A lot of buyers ask. Can you repeat the question so people can hear you?
Are you saying
Actually,
can't- sorry, go ahead.
according to California DRE, the buyer is actually the one that's supposed to pick the escrow company that they're supposed to use on it, so that there's no chance of any type of kickbacks related to it. I know that we use listings because we control the sale, but per the law of the DRE, it's actually the buyer that gets to decide. So something that you guys can think about. No one ever really talks about it, but it actually is the buyer that's supposed to be able to decide those things.
We would like not to talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I kind of have a stupid question. What is? What do
It's a
you
real
mean-
estate office.
What do you mean by independent? I don't quite understand the terminology.
So right now, 21st Century Escrow is broker owned, which means that we have to have an agent or lending that's part of our company as part of the transaction for us to service the escrow. But once you're independent, you can take business from anybody. Yeah.
Just open the doors.
Yeah.
Business.
And we're going to open the floodgates, not the doors, the floodgates.
Yeah, and it's long overdue. We have a lot of agents on the other side of transactions that are very happy with our service and our officers. So this will give us an opportunity to continue keeping that and hopefully build off that.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. So like I said, if you have any questions, let us know.
All right. How's everybody doing? So I would love to hear where everybody's from, because we actually had an argument on the way here, and Keith was right. Hate saying that. He's like, dude, we're gonna need more chairs there. We even called Rachel, so Rachel, you're wrong also, wherever you're at. We're like, how many people do you think are gonna show up? Well, it's Irvine, they don't really get a lot of people that show up at the office, maybe 20 tops. Pretty sure we have like 50 or 60 people here, so thank you guys all for coming. And if you're on Zoom, thank you so much for also zooming in. With 700 agents, and normally we get maybe about 200, 250 to come on the Zoom, plus all of you guys, so really appreciate it. But let's start like this. If you're from Arcadia, make some noise. Covina in the house? Yeah. All right. Irvine. There we go. Diamond Bar? Yeah! I know this next one's gonna go off. Chino Hills. Yeah! about the sister, Corona? Here we go. All right, Temecula. Marietta, I think it's just us, right? Temecula, already said. Oceanside, I saw. There we go. And then our Hemet location.
Woohoo!
Anybody from Canyon Lake in here? I didn't see. Oh, there you go. We got Canyon Lake. Who am I missing?
San Diego.
Well, I didn't know if Claremont or San Diego. Anybody from San Diego?
Yeah, there.
What'd you say? Who'd you say?
I said the Mercedes office.
The Mercedes office. Yeah, exactly, right? So today I'm going to be going over what I normally go over, which is the highlights from the prior month. So we're going to do our top listings, top buyers, top closings total, top GCI. I'm going to do total volume in GCI so you guys can really see what's possible. Top commission per side, so the average commission split, so like the 3%, the 2.5%, whoever's actually getting the highest commission. I have agents that tell me they get 3 no matter what, so that's huge. And then top sales volume. What I'm going to ask from everybody, I'm going to go through the list and let's do a round of applause at the very end for those individuals, okay? So top listings closed for the month of October. Mark and Al team closed 8 total listings. Congratulations, Mark and Al. Jackie, Barn Dollar, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I got 5 listings closed last month. I know they're land deals, but congratulations. Trace Emerson out of Canyon Lake, also 5 deals closed. Jose Enrique Vasquez had 4 deals closed out of Covina. And at Temecula, Miss Karen Myatt with 3 deals closed. So congratulations all you guys. Now buyers. I know Mike Ferry says don't concentrate on buyers, but there's a lot of money in buyers. I'm just telling you, just looking at this, some people made a grip of money. So Miss Karen Myatt with 6 total buyer sides closed. Congratulations. We had Jackie with 5, so she had 5 listings and 5 buyers. Congratulations. Mr. Trace Emerson with 4 buyers. Mark and Al team with 3, and then Lauren Espy out of Hemet with 3. Congratulations, guys. All right, total sides closed. This is cool. Mark and Al team with 11 for October. Congratulations, Mark and Al. Jackie, total of 10 closed for the month of October. Congratulations. Trace Emerson with 9. Karen Myatt with 9. We had Jose Vasquez with 5 out of Covina. Out of Long Beach, Abigail Ruiz with 5. And then out of Hemet East, Lauren Espy with 5. Congratulations, guys. All right. Now the fun part. So the next part I'm going to go over is how much they made. I'm going to do it just in increments of $50,000 and above. So over $50,000 to $100,000, we had Abigail Ruiz, Nancy Chu, Melinda Elmer, all over $50,000 earned for the month of October. Congratulations, you guys. Over $100,000, we had Karen Myatt, Yola Zohib, and Trace Emerson, all over $100,000. $200,000, well, I'm rounding up just a tad. We had the Mark and Al team. So congratulations, guys. Incredible numbers. Top commissions per side. So this one's really fun for me. To start us off, we had at a Long Beach, we had the Melinda Elmer team at 2.98%. So they're averaging almost 3% on each side. Out of Hemet East, we had Axel Zuniga at 2.79%. We had, out of Arcadia, we had Tyrone Aiden at 2.78%, so right below. Out of Covima, Gilda Aaron, we had her at 2.73%. Out of Glendora, Mark and Al team 2.57%. And to finish us off, out of Hemet East, Miss Lauren Espy, 2.57%. Congratulations. All right, total sales volume. So this is where that money translates, right? Out of Canyon Lake, Mr. Trace Emerson sold $9 million in total sales volume for the month of October. Congratulations, Trace. Out of Glendora, Mark and Al team, $7.5 million. I mean, it's just crazy numbers. I'm putting together goals with everybody. As you guys know, my dad and Robert and I, some of the goals we're putting together for the whole year is like $7 or $8 million. These people did it in 1 month. I mean, it's just absolutely astonishing. Out of Temecula, Miss Karen Myatt, $5 million in total sales volume. Congratulations. Out of Chino Hills, Miss Yola Zohib, I might be mispronouncing the last name, but $4.5 million. Congratulations.
Zohib.
Oh,
Zohib.
Zohib?
Zohib.
My apologies.
No problem.
Yes. And then out of San Diego, we had Katie Stark at $4 million. Congratulations. All right. Let's move it over to lending real quick. Mr. Scott Steele himself closed 5 deals last month for $30,000 in total commission. Congratulations, Scott. But interesting point about Scott. This year alone, what is it, 120 transactions? Yep.
That was his goal.
Yeah, and so he hit his goal, 120 lending transactions. So congratulations, Scott. You're absolutely phenomenal, man. Right behind Scott, we had Miss Juliana with also 5 deals closed. And then we had Alicia Vargas with 3 deals closed, also made $26,000. So congratulations, Alicia. And then our final 2, Casey Deanna with 2 deals closed, and Bryce Padilla out of Oceanside with 2 deals closed. Congratulations, everybody. Hey, by show of hands, who went to the Mike Ferry event that we had this week? Everybody liked the event? Mike did great, right? Yes, very good. So Mike said something, and normally it's not my place to do the Eddie, he has the Eddie-isms. But I wanted to talk about something that Mike said because it really resonates with me, just coming from my last career, and it's something that Keith said and something my dad said. And since we're doing the goal setting right now for 2024, I think this is particularly very important to the conversation that we're having. So Mike said, he said, spend your entire day based on the fact that your only goal is to get an appointment every single day. So here's the question for everyone. This is what he asked. He said, when was the last time you treated real estate as a real job and had a specific goal to get appointments every single day that you're in real estate?
Well,
right? It really resonates just a little bit differently because instead of looking at it from like a quarterly view or a monthly view, you're looking at it from like a daily view. I need to get 1 deal today, and that's my goal. And if you do that every day, and I know Karen Myatt does it every single day if you watch her work, I know that we have a lot of individuals in here that do that every single day, but it's those minute goals that make that bigger goal come to fruition, right? Yeah. So my theory is how can we make this happen, right? There are people in every city and every town, this is what Mike said, there's people in every city and every town, every county right now that want to buy or sell in real estate. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Are they going to call you?
yes.
Are they going to call you?
No.
Come on, are they going to call you?
I'm gonna call them.
Okay. What are we going to do? We're going to call them, right? And that's exactly what Mike said. So it's very simplistic, and that's why a lot of people, they might shy away from Mike Ferry, but it really resonates. If we're not calling them, they're not going to call us. If we're not making goals every single day and actually attack this like a real career, a real job, trust me, we have people in our Hemet location that have been doing it for 35 years. They show up every single day, and they still outperform half of our other locations because they do it every single day and they have a goal every single day to make it happen. So if you do that, and they're in their late 70s and they still run circles around the new agents in their 30s and 40s. Right. I'm telling you. So it's very doable. I know everybody that showed up today, you guys are participating, you guys are going to make it happen. So let's absolutely crush the end of 2023. Who's coming to the Christmas party? Everybody's coming to the Christmas party, let's have some fun. And then 2024, we're going to kick some freaking ass, right? Yeah. Let's do it.
Ask them who's riding the bull.
Let's get it. Well, hey, so back in here.
We got Neil. Neil said yes.
Yeah, so we will have at the Christmas party a mechanical bull, and my dad already said he's gonna be the first one to go on it. So I'm really excited about that. So let's have some fun. All right, who's next?
It's Cindy.
Thank you, everybody.
Short, I have 3 things. Number 1, you've heard a lot about the office tour going, to talk about one-on-one goals. I'm following them. I'm going with them to each office. I'm teaching new laws for 2024. There's some stuff in there that you need to know. You need to just be aware of. There's nothing, major that you're going to go, oh my goodness. The update to the NHD is probably the most exciting thing. But we need to know those. So I'll be going around, I'll be doing a class here today in each of the offices. I've done them already, and then the other offices look for me. The other thing I want to say is on Monday at 3:30 in the normal legal class, we are having the Los Angeles County Assessor, Jeffrey Prang, is going to speak on Prop 70, Prop 90. Prop 90. 19.
19.
Yeah.
19.
The one you want to know about. So anyway, more questions. We get so many questions on this. They've been going on and on and on. It's statewide, so it doesn't matter which county you're in. He's still going to have the same information. Please, we get great speakers because we have so many agents. And so we don't want to show up with, 35 people when I've touted that we have 700 agents. So please join it because it's stuff you need to know. Your clients are going to ask you. You don't need to be lawyers about it, but you should have some idea what it's all about. And I'll be there too because I also want to learn. Okay, the last thing, and the thing that probably is on everyone's mind, is the lawsuit, the settlement of the lawsuit. Robert and I have been tackling that in Zoom meetings and in talking to other people. We're not going to deal with it today because it could be the whole meeting if we started talking about it. So, but if you have questions on what's going on, what's happening, let us know, and we'll do another class. We'll do another Zoom meeting where we say, hey, okay, for anyone who missed it or who wants to hear it again, but everyone, your board's doing them, CAR is doing them, we're going to those so that we hear what they're saying as well, and trying to bring everything back to you. So if you have questions and you still want more information, let us know and we'll tackle that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, guys. I can see myself. I cut carbs like middle of last month, but my waistline hasn't gotten the memo. So not being able to see myself isn't good. So times are changing, obviously with recruiting as well. And I'm gonna take a second longer than I usually do. I used to call agents and they'd be like, yeah, you guys are calling me all the time. I'm a producing agent and all these companies are after me. I said, oh yeah, who? Oh, Remax and the usual suspects. And now I call agents and I go, hey, looking at recruiting, and they're like, oh yeah, companies are after me. I said, oh yeah, which ones? They're like Visa, MasterCard, all these, Anyway, but times are changing, but I think we've done a phenomenal job, and our agents have done a phenomenal job of staying in the fight. I think right now, if you can stay year over year just flat, you're doing phenomenal. We have so many agents that are, and I think we even sent out for recruiting kind of a kudos to the agents that are doing year over year better, and we're not including I started last year and I did 2, so I'm up. No, we went with people that were doing solid volume that saw, in some cases, 200% year over year lift. So kudos to you guys, first of all. So give yourselves a round of applause. I will plug the referral program. There are some agents in here that are super taking advantage of it. And I mean, talk about setting up some passive income for yourself. So we have a few agents that are really helping us out. And really, they're just spreading the word that this place is really good. I have always said I have the easiest job in the world. I just got to convince people that this is a great place to hang your license. So again, 10% of company dollar for life as long as you're both with the brokerage. I will read off the names of all of the people that have affiliated. We've got Sarah Mello, Claudio Salvatorelli, Sue Chua, Jan Belmont, Consuelo Rodriguez, David Romanoff, Max Lindenberger, Dwayne Bourgeois, Maribel Vargas, Tanisha Smith, Suni Kim, Andy Watkins, Kalani Tran, Curtis Bowanek, David Gaspar, Tina Carrillo, Daniel Espy, and Sylvia Weathers. Welcome to the team.
Woo! Yeah. Hey, raise your hand if you're on that list. There you go. All right. You guys know who to smother.
Yeah.
All right.
He likes hugs.
Yeah.
I do.
And then obviously my quote, because it applies to you guys as well, and it's one of those things that I had to come up with last minute because Matt took my quote. I was back there frantic with my. I'm just kidding. It says the worst walls are never the ones you find in your way. The worst walls are the ones you put there. From Ursula Le Guin. And the reason I bring that up is I was on a panel. I'm on a panel to speak among recruiters, kind of boring stuff, but I was on there with 2 other people. We were on a meeting yesterday to prepare for this panel, and one of the recruiters was just so negative. Well, do you have real brokerage in your area? Yeah, I do. Do you have companies with caps? Yeah. Do you have, and I'm like, bro, we're in the same fight. Like, he was just so negative. When he's recruiting, he's talking about what he can't do. And I'm like, we're focusing on what we can do. I think that's why we're doing so well. So it applies to you guys. When you pick up the phone, are you sitting there thinking, is this going to be another one of those negative calls that I've had? Or is this going to be the next call that's going to be my next appointment? And I've got a standing ovation back there. So I know my quote was great. So anyway, that's all I've got. Thanks, guys.
Great job, Eddie.
Excellent, thank you. Appreciate all you guys being here. It's good energy. So first and foremost, I want to start in. There was an article that hit with Zillow in this last week. It was a pretty scathing article, and it talked about a 13.5-year break-even point in buying versus renting, which is a really long time. Zillow is I would equate it to almost the original Realtor.com. Has a lot of weight in our industry. There's no doubt about it. So to suggest it's going to take 13.5 years to benefit from buying is not great news. And as soon as I read it, I'm like, what, are you kidding me? We have access to it, and it's up, well, actually, it's going to be on the screen, but we have access to a software program that's buy versus rent. And I put together just for our zip code meaning Irvine right here, I just popped the most populated zip code in Irvine, put in a silly little $900,000 price point, 10% down payment, high rate at 7.75. I'm going to go through rates, much lower than that. Put in the cost to sell that property is 6% down the road, calculates the tax advantages as well, and the number's under 3 years is the break-even point. So to suggest that it's not a good time to buy, not the case. Not the case even kinda. Okay, as much as everybody's doom and gloom and rates are high and there's a problem and that's a problem, there's wars all over the world, I get all of that. But the reality of things in that simple little calculation here, because it also has access through CoreLogic and these other data sources to put together what's the average rent in this particular zip code. What does it cost to rent here? And that's a real number. What does it cost to buy based on that price point? What's that payment equate to? What does the IRS give you for tax advantages? And the long and short on a 9-year play, you're at almost $400,000 gain on sale after all the smoke clears. That's with your tax benefits, after all the costs to sell that property, everything that goes into it. It pencils in at about $45,000 a year upside benefit. Okay? To suggest your average client that we're working with is even remotely getting close to an annual bonus of $45,000 a year, not happening. It's like 1/10 of 1% of the people out there. We've done a ton of business over the years, not normal. There are some senior executives at corporations that get a pretty good annual bonus, but for somebody that's a possible or plausible 2-income family that's working their tail off to get by, to make ends meet, make it happen, all they did was hold up their end of the bargain and make the payment and sleep well at night and wake up the next morning and make it all happen all over again in order to obtain that. This is real wealth. So even from the standpoint of any pushback that you're getting, please get us involved. I'm happy to help you with the ammo that can get people off that proverbial fence and get them moving forward. And it's simple. The work that goes into creating this, because it's right at a fingertip, maybe 3 minutes, maybe. It isn't anything that's like, oh God, I don't want to bother someone, and it's crushing people with logic and with numbers. So many people out there have this doom and gloom where they're hearing people chirping in their ear. And as soon as I read that Zillow article, I'm like, yeah, them's fighting words. Yeah. That's not even fair. Are you kidding me? Okay. And I think the reason why social media and or any news outlet puts together, there's a lot to be said for the naysayers, and getting ratings. Rather than everything's great, well, I don't know, but when everything's bad, boy, ratings really spike, okay? So this is simple stuff. It's really nothing and it can be done in any zip code that's out there. So it isn't anything, the data is the data, and people are gonna gravitate to it or they're not. They're gonna say, hey, that makes a lot of sense, or it doesn't. But where a lot of folks in this world gain great wealth is through real estate. We all know it. We do it for a living. We're believing in it or we wouldn't be here. None of us would be here if we didn't believe in it. But it's a matter of just putting it down on paper and quantifying it. With that same program, there is what they call a blended rate calculator. So we've had success with people recently that want to sell a house and want to buy another house, but yet the new house payment is so much higher in payment that I'm gripping. God, I don't know if it makes sense. We were really hoping that we could sell this and we're getting hundreds of thousands. We're going to get into something equal to or lower than what we currently have. And in approximately a minute and a half, I can plug in numbers of the debt they're otherwise carrying now. And why are you spending all of the money from the sale proceeds in order to get in the new place when maybe you can wipe out all the debt that you have, you're getting no tax benefit on any of it, roll it back into a little lesser down payment and closing costs, and get back to a square one with regards to the new payment in the new house in comparison to what the old house payment plus the other debt load you're carrying equates to. And where the blended rate calculator comes into play is it quantifies everything into a number. Because they're like, I got a 2% rate on my current mortgage, and you're taking me to 7% now. Like, that makes no sense. But look at all of the other debt you're carrying. When we get statements on our credit cards, generally speaking, nobody's gravitating to, so how much is this really costing me? And the number's a lot. A 17.99% interest rate on a credit card is screaming good. Most of them are up at 23.99, 28.99. I've gone through these calculations with people, and people get actually irate with American Express, Chase, JP Morgan. Yeah, they're like, yeah, this sucks. These people are screwing me. Well, it's the way of the world. And it's an adjustable rate. So every time the Fed meets and increases the prime rate, cha-ching, cha-ching. Congratulations, that little love note you get next month with the monthly statement's going to be even higher than it was the month before. Like, I didn't do anything. I'm holding up my end of the bargain. So even when it comes down to the blended rate calculator and the numbers that go into it, the reality of things is it gets back to simple math. So rather than create all of this, the unknown, well, there's this problem and there's that problem. I get the fact that there are issues in people's lives. But if we can narrow the scope, I did training yesterday in Oceanside, and I mentioned to the entire group, just object to me, please. Just bring me the best that you got. Give me an opportunity to overcome your objection, rather than be at a point where people are wishy-washy. Right. Or most frustrating out there is ghosting you. Like, they had a lot of interest the last time I spoke to them. Now I'm not hearing back. What's going on? What's happening here? So at the very bare bones is, what is the objection anybody has in order to move forward, and let's put our thinking cap on as to what we can do to get them back on track and get everything rolling. Quick updates on rates is, and these are all base rates where people are paying an origination fee. So what are the lowest base rates where people are paying an origination fee? We have conventional loans that are sitting below 7% now. The industry averages are at 7.71. We have actual rebate or lender credit at 6.875% on a conventional deal. Wow. You're getting a little more than 0.25% in rebate. And if you get on a 6.75, it's going to cost you about 3/8 of a point to buy the rate. It's not bad. It's not bad. The VA rates and the FHA rates are down in the lower sixes for the same paying origination fee. So you can get a VA rate with lender credit at 6.25%. Same with FHA. You're getting almost a 0.5 point in lender credit at 6.25%. Okay? When I'm seeing people that are going on and shopping or looking online, is they're going through these mortgage calculators, and it's, what are you doing? What is that rate based on? Because they're not asking any of those detailed questions, and they're not getting good quality info. So it's kind of that old adage, shit in, shit out. So you're making the biggest decision in your life based on information that has no real bearing to you. Like, what's happening? So even as you are all, speaking to your clients about that, it's important that they're working with somebody that can really pinpoint exactly what's specific to our client, rather than what is the general public looking at. What does that appear to be? And most of these other mortgage calculators get into just the principal and interest payment. And then people are put off, like, are you kidding me? There's property taxes also? Yeah. Homeowners insurance too. Yeah. The people that get pissed off are the cantankerous older people that finally pay off their mortgage. There's no such thing as a free and clear home. These damn tax assessor, and I get it, but it's just the way of the world. So the more that they're getting into, here's the reality of life and what goes into that, the quicker we're going to get to the proverbial finish line. Home stretch here and an update on states and licensing that we're in. We're currently on the lending side, and you can refer these deals into us. We have people relocating out of state. I know a lot of you guys go on to the Century 21 Online, C21 Online, get your referral fee. You can vet agents in other areas. It's a wonderful opportunity, no doubt about it. Home run. These people are relocating in other states. We have an opportunity to compete for the financing as well. Love an opportunity to compete for the business. California, lay down, no doubt about that, but we're also in Texas, Colorado, Florida, Alabama, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Idaho, all right now today. Wow. And coming within literally the next handful of months, Alaska, Mississippi, Arkansas,
Washington, Oregon, North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, Kentucky, Ohio, Georgia, and Louisiana. I feel like it should be a Christmas carol. Yeah, it's a lot. So when I say the opportunities are there, rather than just kick your client to the curb, like, okay, have at it. Good luck with the rest of your life. At least you have an opportunity to say, hey.
We have trusted referral partners. They're gonna handle your transaction well. They're gonna treat you with respect and dignity, and make sure you get what you otherwise want. They're gonna treat you the way that you would want to be treated, and that's really what a lot of it goes into. So I appreciate the time and effort, and know that you can call any one of us anytime. Thank you.
All right. Hey, everybody. What is happening? All right. So they told me after the last Connect that I should shorten my speaking time, and I said no. So, just kidding. I'll shorten it. All right. So first of all, I wrote something down here. Randy had mentioned that October was like one of the highest commission months he's ever had. And I just want to thank all of you for keeping me employed. So, because that's what it's all about, right? Okay, so real quick though, before I get into state of the market and things like that, regarding the commission lawsuit and all those things, going to Eddie's point, do you like sitting in a room with a bunch of people whining, complaining, bitching, and negative? Do you like doing that?
No.
Okay, then don't go to the board to hear about that commission.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's going to be. You want to know about what's going on in the commission, you come to me, you come to Cindy, because we're going to say what's really going on in a more cheerful, positive way, because guess what? The sky is not falling. And all those brokers and agents that are complaining the sky is falling, it's because they don't want to go to work.
Yes.
Okay, and you know what? We should be excited that they're going to be out of the business. Okay, bye. See you later. Let me take your database and I'll take your company. Well, actually, never mind. I don't want your company. Don't go to the board. Don't go to the board. Okay, negative, complaining, whining. You don't want that. Okay, so I'm going to run through the state of the market really quick because I want to get down to kind of the more meat and potatoes, some things I wrote down. So if you want to write these numbers down, let's look at what's going on in our local market. Active listings last month, write down 38,553. 38,553, that's how many active listings were on the market in our MLS. Okay. Closings last month, 15,158. Which means there was 30,316 sides. Now that seems low compared to years past, right? But I ask this question every month. How many of those do you need to have a good month? There was 30,000 opportunities to get a paycheck. Matt went over some really big numbers. Okay? So don't look at year over year or 20, 21, 22. Those were mythical years in real estate, or as Keith said, bipolar, in 2022. So see, I listen. All right. All right, days on market. Now here's something interesting. Days on market for the first time in 6 months jumped up. Average days on market went from 27 to 29. Not a big deal, okay? But it still went up for the first time in 6 months. Average price per square foot for the first time in a few months went down. Okay, so it was at $593, now it's at $586. Again, not life-changing stuff, but down. Okay? For the first time, this one really made me sad, okay, because I wrote a whole script and now I can't use it anymore, which is for the first time in 6 months, the average home did not sell above list price. I know. So now I have to write a new script. It sold 0.3% below list price on average. So again, nothing life-changing, but just letting you know what's going on. So slow down a little bit, yes or no? Okay, based on those numbers, slow down. But I want to look at this from a different perspective. Let's look at where we were at this time last year. Last year, days on market was higher than it is this year. Last year, price per square foot was lower than it is this year. Last year, homes were selling 3% below list price, and now we're right about list price. So given those numbers, are we in a better spot this year or last year?
This year.
So don't look at, it's slowing down a little bit. No. Far better than where we were last year. We are in a good spot. Okay, good spot. And the best part about all that is most other companies and brokerages are going to complain and agents are going to complain, which means you have an abundance of opportunities. Everybody say abundance.
Abundance.
Abundance of opportunities out there right now. Jesse, did everybody on Zoom say abundance?
Yes.
Okay, they did. You kick them off. All right? Don't let the negative talk get to you. We're good. We're good. All right? So, last note I want to make on the market. So, in the marketplace last month, everything I just mentioned was down. Closings down, all that stuff was down, right? So, here's what's interesting. In the marketplace were down, Century 21 Masters closings were up 14%.
Let's go.
Pendings, we outperformed the market by 14% in pendings last month.
Wow.
So, round of applause to all of you. You are putting in the work. You're not letting that negativity get to you. We are going to keep going and going and going and going and going and making more and more money, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's go. Okay, so here's what I want to really get into. Regarding the lawsuit, here's the most important thing you need to know. More important than ever, you need to become a great listing agent. More important than ever, you need to become a great listing agent. Some of you are already great listing agents. Some of you just got your license. You don't know what a great listing agent is. Don't worry about that. But you need to focus your time on being a great listing agent if you want to make real money in the next 3+ years in real estate. So I'm going to wrap up my stuff. I've got a number of little bullet points here on what you need to do to become a great listing agent. Okay? So I want you to write these down. This one you don't have to write down, but just listen. Don't worry if you've never taken a listing. That doesn't mean you can't be great at taking listings in the next 3 years. You got your license yesterday? Oh, Robert, how am I going to be a great listing agent in 3 years? Don't worry about it. And if you don't believe me, I want you to call Melissa Grosso, who hasn't been in real estate very long and is one of the best listing agents in her market. You don't believe me? Call Wendy De Leon. Been in real estate only a couple years, one of the best listing agents in the company. Don't believe me? Call Lauren Espy. Did property management for years, just started doing real estate a couple years ago, one of the best listing agents in the company. She did a listing presentation role play for our company a couple weeks ago. So you never took a listing? Don't worry about it. You can still be a great listing agent in the next 3 years. Absolutely, as long as you put in the work, and we got examples of that. I wrote down here, commit to doing the 4 Ps every day. You want to become a great listing agent in 3 years? Commit to 4 Ps every day. What's one of them? Prospect. All right, so you have to prospect every day. So I wrote down every day you don't prospect, you're out of business that day. If you're not prospecting for business, take that open sign and just turn it over. Close for business today. Okay? You got to do that. We are in the talk to people what? Business. Verbal conversations with people. Okay? I check in with everyone on Facebook, but they don't check in with you. Okay? Verbal. I wrote down here, you have to contact them before they contact Zillow. Are there people in your neighborhoods that have been online leads?
Yes.
Everybody say yes.
Yes.
Safe place. Absolutely. So there should never be an online lead in your neighborhood, because an online lead is someone that has a question about real estate, doesn't have a real estate agent they feel comfortable calling, so they go to Zillow. That should never happen in your neighborhood. Got to prospect every day. What's another one? Prioritize. Well, that's a good one in terms of managing, but not what I wrote down, but I'm going to write that down. Preview. You got to know the marketplace. We just mentioned the stats are changing, right? So are things taking longer to sell? Yes or no?
Yes.
Does that affect how you should price your properties?
Yes.
Should you go preview properties to know what you should price it at?
Yes.
Absolutely. You got to go out and see properties. Imagine even if you just went and saw 2 homes a day. That's 10 a week. And you did that for 40 weeks a year. That's 400 homes. If you saw in person 400 homes in your marketplace over the next 12 months, would you be overly confident about selling homes in your market?
Yes.
2 homes a day even. You know, I know Neil pushes you for 5, but I know you're not going to do that, so let's just go with 2. Okay?
Neil says no.
No, Neil says no. Okay, so I wrote down here though. Some of you don't like going to preview. You don't like going to preview. So I have a better idea. If you don't like previewing properties, all I want you to do is go see homes that are for sale. Okay? Don't preview anymore. Just go see homes that are for sale. All right. So we wrote down prospect. We wrote down preview. There's 2 more. What else? Practice. Okay. Who here watches any kind of sports? Okay, so some of you. Does anyone know the name LeBron James? Okay, so LeBron James is now in his 21st year of NBA basketball. One of the greatest to ever play the game, absolutely. Probably has this basketball thing figured out. Okay? All-time leading scorer, champion, all these other different things. Guy practices 3 hours a day, still 21 years in the league. He's the oldest player in the league. Practices 3 hours a day. Could we be the LeBron James of our marketplace?
Yes.
Well, he practices 3 hours a day. Oldest player in the league. You got to practice every day. Could you spend 30 minutes a day practicing?
Yes.
30 minutes. Okay? 30 minutes over, the average agent works 220 days a year. Now, you might work more, you might work less. We're not going to get into that right now. But if you did 30 minutes a day for 220 days, I won't ask anyone to do math, that's 110 hours. If you practice for 110 hours in the next 12 months, would you be really, really good at what to say and how to say it?
Yes.
30 minutes a day. And the last one I wrote down is present. Every single day you have to do a live presentation or work on your presentation. You have to get in the habit of doing a presentation every day. You want to become a great listing agent, you got to do a listing presentation every day. If you don't have a live one, work on it. Every single day. Okay? So, if you practiced every day and previewed every day and prospected every day at a really high level, would that lead to more presentations?
Yes.
There you go. It's a simple formula. Do the 4 Ps every day. All right, I wrote down here, get your database organized and contact them more. I don't want anyone to raise your hand because it's going to make me sad. But some of you have your database in your phone still. Okay? We have 2 no-cost CRMs for you to choose from. 2. I don't care which one you choose. Or if you really want to spend some money and go do another one, that's fine. Get your database organized. That's your money makers, okay? And contact them more. 89% of people are willing to use their agent again. Anyone want to guess how many actually do?
33.
That's close. 23. NAR statistic, they do these surveys. 89% of people when they close a transaction are willing to use their agent again, but then when it comes time to use their agent, when it comes time to buy or sell a house, only 23% of people use the same agent. 89 to 23. Would anybody like to guess what the number one reason is they don't use their agent again?
Never hear from them.
Never hear from them.
Don't know if they're still working.
Don't know if they're still working. So number 1 is I never hear from them. Number 2, I think is more powerful, is I hear from other agents more.
Yeah.
We are salespeople. We're the ones that say, I don't want to bombard them. And meanwhile, your clients are going, I would like to hear from you more. 89 to 23. Okay? Talk to them more. All right, just a couple more points. I wrote down here, constantly build your database. Constantly build your database. Do you think a lot of agents, because the market's gotten tougher and all these things going on, do you think a lot of agents are going to leave the business? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay? And some of you, I could see the smiles on your faces. And some of you are going, oh, that might be me. I don't want it to be. Okay? But the reality is there's a lot of agents leaving the business. Well, if they're leaving the business, there's a lot of databases up for grabs. Go get them. Maybe contact agents that are leaving the business and say, let me grab your database. I'll give you a referral fee on anything that closes. We have agents that do that all the time. There's databases up for grabs. Call your neighborhoods. Okay? Build your database. Be greedy. I wrote down here, set your ego aside and partner with another agent on a listing to gain confidence if you've never taken a listing before. If you've never taken a listing before, partner with an agent. Set your ego aside. Or if it's a different price. But Robert, this price point is $6 million. And the highest listing I've ever done before is a land deal for $35,000. But it's a $6 million listing. That's a lot of money. I don't want to give up the commission. You're essentially giving up 100% of it. You're not going to get that listing. I'm not being mean. I'm just being real. Set your ego aside. Don't be afraid to partner with agents to get some experience. Okay? Now, here's the secret about experience for those of you that don't know this. If you've never taken a listing before, what I would like for you to do is go find a piece of land and sell that. Okay? That way, when you go on your next listing appointment, when the seller says, do you have a lot of experience, you can say, I've sold a lot. I'll be here for another hour.
Dad jokes
Pretty good. Pretty good. I like that.
Oh, good stuff, right? All right, last 3 points here. Control your own neighborhood. You want to be a great listing agent, control your own neighborhood. Make a commitment to build a relationship with everyone in your community. Like I said, there should never be an online lead in your community. I went to Chicago a couple weeks ago, and I went and saw Lee Marcus. Some of you know who he is. Not really important if you do or you don't. But he's a guy that makes a couple $1 million a year selling real estate. So I went to his office, and we went and walked around the neighborhood where his office is at. Everybody knows him. Wow. The barber is, "Hey, Lee." The dry cleaner, "Hey, Lee." The coffee person, "Hey, Lee." And he's, "Hey, how you going? How you doing?" Knows everybody in that whole community. Wow. A whole community. Everybody knows him. And I said, "How much business do you get out of this community?" He said, between referrals and their own business, he goes, probably 50, 60 deals a year.
Wow.
In his own community. Wow. But everybody knows him. Does everybody know you in your community? Does everybody know you're in real estate? Can you walk down the street and people say, "Hey, Robert, hey's the whatever"? Take over. You want to be a great listing agent? You want to make a lot of money? Take over your own community. Okay? So then I wrote down last 2 things here. If you're committed to controlling your database and committed to controlling your own community, you'll probably make a small fortune in real estate. If you just controlled your database and controlled your own community, you'd make a fortune in real estate. And you wouldn't have to drive very far, which is nice in California. The last thing I wrote down here, if you want to be a great listing agent in the next 3 years, this is the most important. You have to control what goes on inside your head. I did a class on Monday on mindset. I thought that was actually one of my best classes. I'm bummed that so many of you didn't participate. Okay, because I thought that was pretty good. Wednesday of next week, we have a Tony Robbins speaker that's going to talk a lot about mindset. Okay, so I recommend everybody register for that. We sent out an email, we'll send out some more. You've got to control what goes on inside here. Because if you don't control what goes inside here, you will never be a great listing agent. Just not going to happen. And unfortunately, our entire world as real estate agents is surrounded with negativity. The consumers have a negative outlook towards real estate, yes or no?
Yes.
The media outlets, do they ever post positive things about real estate?
No.
Even if it is positive. Home prices are up, making it difficult for buyers. Why did you have to put that at the end? Why couldn't you just say home prices were up? Are most real estate agents positive or negative? Negative. You were surrounded by it. Do you have any idea how lucky you are to work at a company like this? Yeah. Where all we do is spread positivity like a bunch of damn Santa Clauses running around our offices, spreading joy and cheer, saying, "We're going to be all right. Let's sit down. Let's do it. Let's make it happen." Because if you don't do that, you go to some other office, you go to the board of realtors, you're just going to hear wah, 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 negativity, and you're never going to hit your goals, and you're going to be out of real estate in a couple years. You stay here, you plug in, you get engaged, you listen to Randy and Keith and Matt and Eddie and Greg and Bree and Kelly, and if you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. That's normal. Which is the same thing as my marriage, but that's a different story. But you control what goes on inside here, and you'll be a great listing agent in the next 3 years. Amen. That's all I got.
Hi, everyone. This was such a good turnout. We have a super exciting announcement. The marketing team, in October, we took some time to think of ways of how we can give, holiday stuff to our agents. So we came up with holiday packets, and this is a great way for those agents that have questions on, like, they don't know how to get started, or, what can I do to, as Robert said, take over my community and be a part of, what goes on. So this is perfect. There's door knocking flyers, there's postcards, there's social media graphics, there's pot buys, there's cute little recipes in there. These, you can all customize them, and if you want to use them, if your community is having an event, if, with Thanksgiving and whatnot coming up, a lot of people will do those fun things. Take the opportunity to get these customized. We can get them printed in the office as well, and get your name out there and let your neighbors know that you are around, and this is, just a fun way for everyone to know that you are a real estate agent. So there's a real estate side and there's a lending side as well. So if you guys do have any questions, you can email us to customize them, or you can use them as is. We're going to be sending those out in email, so you'll get a closer look at that. And then if you guys do come up with other ideas, if you like, you know, how we went about it, but you want to change it up a bit, or you want to do a different recipe, you know, it could be like your family recipe, we can do that for you as well. But this is just a great way to give you guys ideas of how to get started with marketing and how you can get in front of your database and your community, your neighbors. So that's super exciting. And then going into December, a couple more updates. As always, I think we have the resources. So if you need to get into our agent resource guide, the Telegram, coaching on demand, our marketing request form, and the follow-up boss in Wailopo, go ahead and scan that. You can save it. I believe we're going to be emailing you these slides afterwards as well, so you can have those to keep. And then as the year ends, I don't think we're not going to be having a monthly connect in December. Everyone's going to be getting into the holiday spirit. We have our Christmas party. So we're going to reconnect in January, the 11th of 2024. That's super exciting. And I'm super excited to see everyone back and hear about how your year ended. And then after all your goals with Matt, Randy, and Robert, to hear how that's going. And I think that's it. So if anyone does have any questions, we'll be around. We do have lunch. We got El Pollo Loco, so I think Frankie is setting that up now. And it was so nice seeing everyone today.
Yeah.